It's the third and final Battlemage subclass for us to look at. This is the Witch Mage, so let's dive in. You know how it goes by now. Combat tutorial, all the items, level 1 to 12. Let's go. Now, we get Constitution saving throw proficiency and Intelligence saving throw proficiency, as well as proficiency in simple weapons, martial weapons, musical instruments, light armor, medium armor, and shields. Now, for your first two cantrips, we're going to take Firebolt and we're going to take Rare Frost, as I like having two different types of damage, essentially, fire and ice. You could, if you wanted to, take Poison Spray. You could take Shocking Grasp, you could take Bone Chill. I like keeping it simple. Firebolt and Rare Frost. Now for your ability points, we're going to take 16 Strength, 10 Dexterity, 14 Constitution, 16 Intelligence, 10 Wisdom, and 8 Charisma. For your proficiencies, take whatever you feel like. Okay, Battlemage level 2 gives us our Spelled Blade. So when you deal a cantrip that does Acid, Fire, Lightning, Thunder, or Cold, you get to add a 1d4 of that damage type to your weapon for your next round. Really nice stuff. You also get your first 3 spells here, so we're going to take Shield, as it's a great reaction to just boost your AC. We're going to take Magic Missile, one of my favourite spells. Great from early game to end game. You can upcast it, never misses, and it's perfect for stopping those enemies with like Unstoppable and stuff like that. And of course, Thunder Wave, because I swear by this spell. I think it's phenomenal, pushes enemies off of buildings, ledges, all sorts for extra damage, and it can end fights ASAP. Battlemage level 3 gives us our first specialization. I say our first specialization, our only specialization. I was meant to say our first level spells. And for that, we're going to take Ice Knife, as I just think Ice Knife is great. 1 to 10 piercing damage, explodes for 2 to 12, and it creates ice around the enemy. And the Witch Hunter, the Hunter of the Unnatural. So, when you hit an Aberration Fiend, Monstrosity or Undead with a weapon attack, takes an additional 1 to 4 radiant damage, and Lesser Restoration. Cure a creature from disease, poison, paralysis, or blindness. As you can see, this kind of has a little bit of like cleric vibes to it. Battlemage level 4 gives us our first feat, and for this one we're going to bump our strength up to 18. If you want to wear something such as the Gauntlets of Hill Giant Strength to boost your strength to 23, don't put it into strength here. Put it into, I don't know, probably intelligence, and boost your intelligence up to help with your spellcasting. I'm going to boost my strength up to 18 though to help with our weapon attacks. Battlemage level 5 gives us our extra attack, so if we make an attack on our main action, we can then follow up with an extra attack, as well as removed curse. We also get another spell, so for this one we're going to take Misty Step to help us get around the battlefield with a bonus action. Battlemage level 6 gives us our War Magic, so after we cast a cantrip, we can make a weapon attack using the bonus action. We also get Mage Slayer saving throw advantage, so advantage on saving throws against spells cast by creatures within 1.5 meters of us. Mage Slayer attack caster, you can use a reaction to make an attack against an enemy after it casts a spell within 1.5 meters of you. And Break Concentration. Enemies you have disadvantage when making saving throws to maintain their concentration. This really is a proper mage and like spell casting slayer build. Battlemage level 7 brings us Elemental Slash. Enhance your weapon attacks with elemental magic to add 3 to 18 fire, cold, or lightning damage after confirming a hit. If your weapon is infused with Spelled Blade, trigger it twice. Now for a spell hit, we are going to take Mirror Image to boost our AC. And Battlemage level 8 brings us to our next feat. Before that, we get to pick one more spell. We're going to take Shocking Grasp, as in this case, because we are going to be in melee range. Shocking Grasp as a cantrip, and then bonus action with our War Magic, we can attack with our sword, and it'll be lightning infused. And for your feat, we are going to bump our strength up to 20. Again, if you're using potions of strength, or the Gauntlets of Hill Giant Strength for this build, boost your intelligence up to 20. Battlemage level 9 gives us Banishment. Great spell to take. And we get another spell here, and for this one we are going to take Fireball because it's Fireball. Battlemage level 10 gives us Resilient Body, so advantage on saving throws against being charmed, paralysed, or poisoned. Battlemage level 11 gives us the spell Evil and Good, but more importantly gives us some roguish abilities almost. We can use our battle points and bonus action to disengage or dash, really helping you get around the battlefield, meaning if you don't want a Misty Step and you can get there with dashing, you can do so via this route. We get one more spell at this point, and you can kind of take whatever you feel like you might want to use the most here. I mean, you've got things like Gust of Wind, you could do Cloud of Daggers, lots of good options. I think for this we will take Cloud of Daggers. Haste is obviously a very tempting option, but because our constitution is so low, the last thing you want to do is lose your concentration and then become lethargic for a round. Bit of a killer. So I would personally take something like, you can take Knock to help you get into objects, Gust of Wind, like lots of options here. I'm going to take Cloud of Daggers though, just so we have a concentration spell. Battlemage level 12 gives us our final feat of the game, and again, at this point you have a few options. If you are bumping your strength up, you could put your intelligence up to 18. Or, if you're bumping your intelligence up to 18, because you're using strength elixirs or something like that, then you could take something such as Great Weapon Master. Now I think I'm going to take Great Weapon Master regardless. Essentially when you land a critical hit to kill a target with a melee weapon attack, you can make another melee weapon attack as a bonus action that turn. Also, attacks with melee weapons you're proficient with and wielding in both hands deal an additional 10 damage at the cost of a -5 attack roll penalty, and I just think it's worth it regardless. Okay, let's go over our equipment. So we're going to start with Savrok's Horned Helm. Constitution saving throws +1. Get Dauntless, so you cannot be frightened or afflicted with other emotion altering conditions. Our critical number needed is reduced by 1, so it's now only 19, and we gain Dark Vision up to 3 meters or 15 if we already have it. The Cinder-Moth Cloak, so if we receive melee weapon damage, the attacker within 2 meters receives Burning. The Boots of Genial Striding, so movement speed is unimpeded by difficult terrain. The Half-Plate Armor, now you might be tempted to take something like the Armor of Agility or anything like that. Because our dex is 10 and it's a solid 0, you're not going to be able to benefit from exotic materials. Half-Plate Armor gives you a solid 17 AC, 2 less piercing damage as well. For gloves, the Helldust Gloves. +1 bonus to spell attack rolls and spell save DC. Infernal Touch, weapon attacks do an additional 1/6 fire damage, and strength saving throws +1, we also get Rays of Fire as a cantrip, which means we cast that, our weapon becomes infused. The Caustic Band for a solid 2 acid damage. The Strange Conduit Ring, so while concentrating on a spell, our weapon attacks do an additional 1-4 psychic damage. The Necklace of Elemental Augmentation, so when we have a cantrip that deals acid, cold, fire, lightning, or thunder damage, add your spellcasting modifier to the damage dealt. The Sword of Chaos, as you can see, one of my favourite weapons in the game, probably my favourite two-handed weapon. I know a lot of people like Baldur and Giant Slayer, I prefer the Sword of Chaos. I really like the fact if you hit an enemy, you regain 1-6 hit points. And then for a bow, we're going to take the Death Shot just to double down on that improved critical to reduce it to an 18, not a 19. So that was our build, let's go test it out. Okay, you can see we have started the combat and we are kind of mid in the turn order. I say mid, we're near the end, but it's because our dex is so low. But that's okay, because we are going to start cracking out some damage. And let's start showing this off. So let's start with a Shocking Grasp. This will, 17 points of damage, and now you can see our weapon is infused. Thanks to our War Magic, we can now come in here with a big weapon swing. Now, we do have Great Weapon Master turned on. We could turn it off if we want to, when I can see the dial just here. You'll see we turned it off, we got 95% chance to hit. If we turn it back on, an 80% chance to hit, but if we do hit, we're going to do an extra solid 10 points of damage. Just like that. Next, see, we have run out of infusion on our weapon, so how this really does work best is, let's say you have an enemy at the far back, and we want to throw a firebolt at it. Now, unfortunately, we do have disadvantage because we're threatened. I'm just showing you this for the sake of it. So let's throw the firebolt. Let's say we hit. Our weapon will now be infused, meaning when we attack this enemy here with a follow-up, we'll deal a little bit extra fire damage. Now again, you have other options. You can mirror image to boost your AC if you feel like you need to. This can be particularly handy, especially if you are going to be the pure frontliner. Or we can throw up a Cloud of Daggers. So let's throw this over here, and this will be our concentration spell. So if we just come over here, now because we're concentrating on that, we do benefit from the extra psychic damage on our attacks. We can't quite use that this round, but we do have it for next. Or we can just get a massive critical with a pommel strike, and you saw we healed up for 3 thanks to the Sword of Chaos. You see we saved our concentration twice in a row. So let's show this off. There you go, you can see the extra psychic damage just there. And what this means is we have enough movement, we can come over here, we can swing again, get another critical hit, and with our bonus action, because we killed an enemy, one more strike, just like that. See, still holding that concentration. That's 4 attacks we've held our concentration through. The enemy ran back into our Cloud of Daggers and took more damage. And hopefully you can still do things with your other cantrips and low level spells. For example, Thunderwave. I'm going to upscale it just so it does as much damage as possible. The idea being throwing enemies off of ledges. Just like that, and instantly ending fights. You might sacrifice the loot, but if you can do that to a bunch of enemies off of a beam, in like Moonrise Towers or whatever, you can really dwindle down the numbers and then allow your partners to just pick off the last little bits of their health pool. You'll see the enemy there was still in our Cloud of Daggers, so just died. And that is the gist of the build. Infuse your weapon, hit hard, and really just focus on slaying the spellcasters you have. Unfortunately, the spellcaster in this combat just likes to go invisible and run away, so you don't really get to show off those abilities, but it's really good against bosses. So I hope you have enjoyed. If you have, please drop the episode a like, it helps me tremendously. Let me know in the comments what you'd change about this build, what you'd add, other weapons, other abilities, spells, all that fun stuff. If you're ready, please subscribe to the channel. I have many other build guides for Baldur's Gate, Path of Exile 2, Dragon Age the Veilguard, and Elden Ring. Hopefully you have enjoyed. If you have, hopefully I'll see you in the next one. Bye guys.